Right, buddy, this is the preview. Manchester United face Manchester City. In this video, we'll be talking about tactics, predicted team, what to expect from Manchester City, Amorims, comments before the game, and much, much more. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you are new, and let's get straight into it. So, Manchester United obviously face Manchester City. It's a big game. It's Amorims first. Manchester derby is an opportunity for 3 points. Amorim has talked about pre-match about the fact that he's not really feeling of a derby because not both teams are where they need to be. He's talking about just preparing his team to get the win, and that's ultimately something that we need to do. Manchester City, obviously the obvious, they've won 1 in 10 games, and they've conceded 23 goals in those 10 games. And listen, in their last Premier League game, they conceded 2 goals to Crystal Palace. And listen, I think it's a game Manchester United should be confident. I think the ball is still in Manchester City's court. I think they still have the more probability of winning. But it's a game where, listen, Manchester City do make mistakes. They're not at their best at the moment. And that's something Pep Guardiola has talked about. They are struggling as a team. They're struggling to find momentum. And I think the thing that Ruben Amorim will try and do is trying to break down this Manchester City team. Is bit by bit trying to... Listen, in the Arsenal game, that was his biggest test. We weren't too bad. It's just no end product in the final third. And I think that's something that we must improve on. We prove we can go against the top side. And yes, we did lose 2-0. They were to corners. I think Manchester City is going to be different. We're away from home again. They play much more controlled possession football. And Amorim knows what it's like to play a Pep Guardiola team. He did literally play them, I think it was 7 games ago. So, listen, he doesn't know exactly what it's like. I think it will be a very tough game. As I said, Manchester City defensively, they're struggling. They're shipping goals like none before. They're making mistakes. It's kind of Manchester United and Man City are not really at where they want to be right now. Now, in terms of teams, I think Amorim will make a lot of rotation. Again, you look at the team that started against Victoria Pills, and there definitely will be lots of rotation. There'll be opportunities for other players to come into the team. There'll be chances for other players. Now, I'm going to give you my predicted team, talking about what to expect from Man City first. Now, obviously, Man City, they play kind of that 3-4-2-1 system. They like to compact the midfield, play around with the ball a lot in midfield. They've got Gavardia, obviously. They like to play out from the back. It's going to be high possession. And you look at players that have suspended. Rico Lewis is suspended. Obviously, he got the red card against Crystal Palace. John Stones is out injured. Ake is out injured. Akanji is out injured. Oscar Bob, Rodri obviously out injured as well. So they have got players out injured. But listen, this could be a game where if they win, it does kind of help their season massively. And I think it's a big game for Manchester United. As I said, recent losses they've had, Forest. That was the only game they won, sorry. Palace they've drawn. Juventus they've drawn. No, Juventus they lost. Liverpool they lost. Tottenham 4-0. Brighton 2-1. Sporting 4-1. Bournemouth 2-1. Tottenham 2-1. Like, they drew to Feyenoord. They're not having the greatest Feyenoord form at the moment. And as I said, I think their biggest threats are still De Bruyne and Hojlund. I think they're 2 players who can cause massive issues for Manchester United defensively. Now, let's get into my predicted team. Now, in goal will obviously be Onana. Yes, he made a mistake. Amorim talked about really trying to protect him and utilise his threats in a game like this. His shot stopping ability is fantastic. Man City are going to have shots, they're going to have chances, and it's all about really can Onana stop them, because it is going to be very, very tough. But I think Onana will be in goals. Now, in terms of 3 centre-backs, this is my team. I'm going to talk about other rotations, but this would be my team. I'd go Yoro, right centre-back. I'd go De Ligt, central centre-back. And I'd go Martinez, left centre-back. I think that's our strongest back 3 at the moment. I think that's a very good back 3. And I think that's something that Amorim will go with. I think Yoro, listen, he got the rest against Pilsen. He probably will get the first 60 minutes, I think, in the game against Manchester City, and I think that's what we need. I think that defence, we've got 3 defenders, we can't afford to make individual errors, and that's something that Manchester United will not do. So yeah, that would be my back 3. Now, in terms of wing backs, I think Mazraoui has to play left wing back. We can't have Delo out there. He struggled so much in that position, and I think Mazraoui, listen, he hasn't played there since that Chelsea game, but he's still, I think if you put him there, he'll have a good shift. And I think Mazraoui's quality is needed in that left wing back position. His tenacity, his aggression, and his quality is absolutely essential to Manchester United. He'll be coming up against Mateus Nunes, reports are suggesting, or Pep did even say you might play him there. Could it be Savinho, Doku, Foden, Bernardo Silva? I'm sure he'll be able to deal with them. Now listen, Delo's going to play, isn't he? So Delo will be right wing back. I think you've seen against Arsenal, he went with Malacia left wing back, and he played Delo right wing back. You could see him go with actually no, I think he's going to go with Mazraoui right wing back and Malacia left wing back. Malacia looked alright in the last game against Victoria Pilsen. I think Delo should drop to the bench. I don't think we can risk having Delo in the game like this at all. So I'm going to go with Malacia left wing back and Mazraoui right wing back, with a back 3 of De Ligt, Yoro and Martinez. In terms of midfield 2, for me, it has to be Ugarte and Kobe Mainoo. I think that's the most obvious one. I think compact that midfield, had that quality, the defensive depth in there. Could have Ugarte or Casemiro, but I don't think Casemiro has the legs, so I would go with Ugarte and Kobbie Mainoo. I think they're two players that are absolutely essential in a game like this. I think that quality is definitely needed. Now, in terms of two inside forwards, I would go with Bruno and Ahmad. I think Ahmad has to start this game. Now, Rashford and Garnacho, Mount will be on the bench. I think these will be all players who will come on to have an impact in the game. I think Ahmad has to start. I think his threat is absolutely insane on the counter-attack, holding up the ball. He's absolutely fantastic, and I think his ability is needed in a game like this. The other inside forward would obviously be Bruno Fernandes. Had a great game against Pilsen. Hopefully he can improve on this. I think in the last game against City, he did play in the centre-forward role, but I think his aim is going to be about pressing, keeping compact, and ultimately playing the ball to Rasmus Hojlund, who will be my number 9 in a game like this. Now, listen, that would be my team. Obviously, you could make rotation. I think that is the strongest team to beat Manchester City. You look at the game that Man City played in their last game against Juventus during the week. I'll get that up now. But listen, it's a game I'm hoping Manchester United could win. You look at the odds at the moment, it really is a 50-50 game. Man City in their last game against Juventus. Let's see, so they played... So obviously had Edison in goal. They played 3 centre-backs of Diaz, Vardy and Walker. Gundogan and Lewis, who's obviously suspended, so you're expecting someone else to come in. De Bruyne, Grealish, Silva and Doku as a front four, and then Hojlund through the middle. Listen, that team isn't great. I think that midfield is definitely a weakness. But obviously no Rodri in there. You've got Gundogan, and it will probably be maybe Bernardo Silva drops in there and you'll be Foden out to the right. Walker hasn't looked great this season for Manchester City. So there are definitely avenues out there where Manchester United can exploit. And that should be something that we are trying to exploit ultimately, if I'm being honest with you. Manchester City haven't looked great defensively, and their defensive weakness would be for me Kyle Walker. I know he's quick. You could see Amorim pick Rashford to go with the pace of Walker, but Rashford hasn't really been on form really recently for Manchester United. You obviously have Hojlund. I think he's rapid as well. Will be able to give Walker a problem. And you look as the game goes on, depending on how the game's going to go, you could bring on Rashford off the bench. You bring Garnacho for that threat. But I think in that first half, it's all about containing what really Man City can do, keeping compact, being good on the ball, like we did against Arsenal, really playing the brand of football that Amorim wants to play, but ultimately keeping compact and limited Manchester City's threat. Listen, I'm excited for the game. It's Amorim's first Manchester derby. I'm sure Manchester United fans will be watching and hoping for a win. I mean, in terms of the Premier League table, if we can get a win, it would mean so much after 2 Premier League losses. And listen, we're seeing Amorim progress game by game in the way that he's playing with Manchester United, so that is good. In terms of the table, we are 13th in the league. We do really need to win. We're seeing his system really develop and adapt, and I think I'm very, very happy with that. Obviously, it's a tough game. It's a game that obviously Man City need to win. They are 4th in the table now. We're only 7 points behind Man City, and I know... no, we're 8 points behind Man City. I know that's a lot, but those should be the points we're striving for. It's a tough game, but I'm excited. I want to see Amorim play his way of football. He's talked about how the derby is a game in Manchester United should be looking to win, and he wants to see his players play football. But that's been my team. In terms of prediction, I'm actually going to go with the draw. I think it will be 2-0. Listen, City concede a lot of goals. Manchester United concede a lot of goals. I'm hoping Manchester United can come away with the win, but that would be my team, my predictions. Man City, listen, they're a tough team. They're always very good, but Manchester United have only lost 2 more games than Man City this season. But listen, let me know your thoughts. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're new. This has been the preview for Manchester United's trip to Man City for the derby, the local derby. It's a huge game, and I'm hoping, man, we can win this game because it's big. It's a big game, and it's a derby. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Peace.